steel and aluminium motor yacht RIO was the first launch of 2022 for CRN, part of Italy's Ferretti Group. And we're very lucky today to be able to tour her 62 meters, not moored at the dock as is usually the case, but cruising the French Riviera, where the yacht is likely to be spending a lot of her time because she's also available for charter. RIO's exterior styling is by Frank Lautmann of Omega Architects, the Dutch studio's second collaboration with CRN after 73-meter Yalla a few years ago. And the shipyard recently launched a third project together with Omega, this time a 52-meter. Clean, chiseled and sporty lines are the leitmotifs of the Omega style, as is the near vertical bow and the aluminium arches in the stern connecting the main and upper decks. Despite her full deck levels, 11.2 meter beam and a volume of more than 1,200 gross tons, the flowing horizontal lines lend the yacht a sleek, low-rise and balanced look on the water. The interior design is by Pulina Exclusive Interiors, together with CRN's in-house team of designers. And I suppose you could call the style a study in contemporary living afloat based on premium materials and natural hues. And you can really see and feel that here in the main salon with its bar unit, dining table, TV lounge, full height windows for maximum contact with the sea, but also in the chic yet casual interior decor. The main woods that run throughout the yacht are white pine, which has been painted and brushed, pickled oak and American walnut for the floors. These neutral tones are punctuated with vibrant works of art and precious varieties of marble, including azul macaúba in the main salon, Irish green for the exterior bar furniture, and crema d'orcia and Calcutta Valley Oro in the bathrooms. Moving forward through the main lobby, we have the lift that serves all 4 deck levels. And we enter a VIP suite with a walk-in wardrobe on the right-hand side before opening out into the cabin proper. Now, to all intents and purposes, this suite is a second master stateroom, which is great for charter trips involving more than one family. And the design detail that I really like are these custom handmade textured wallpapers. Also on main deck is the Galley, which is rather special because it's been kitted out by Marrone, a top Italian supplier of pro-spec kitchen equipment. The guest accommodation on the lower deck comprises another full beam VIP suite, this one, which has a walk-in wardrobe separating the cabin from the bathroom. And there are another 3 guest cabins down here, 2 doubles and a twin single, which has a Pullman bunk, which makes it ideal for kids. The owners opted for a gym in the space where a 5th cabin would usually be, but as it already has its own bathroom, it's all set up for conversion into a cabin should the owner change his mind in the future. Still on the lower deck, in the crew quarters forward, there's a comfortable mess, accommodation for the crew plus a 2-berth staff cabin. On the underlower deck, or tank top level, there's a dedicated laundry and extra coal storage for the galley. The master stateroom occupies the entire forward section of the main deck and starts with a chaise longue, vanity table, a palatial walk-in wardrobe and marble-lined bathroom. And from their bed, the owners can enjoy a 180-degree view through the panoramic windows. But that's not all, because if we step through this side door, there's another standout feature. Private foredeck, arranged as an open-air lounge with its own jacuzzi, and crucially it's hidden from view from the wheelhouse on the deck above for maximum privacy. And underneath my feet here, there's a garage for a limousine tender, the crew tender, and a variety of water toys. In the upper deck lobby, we find a special request of the owners. This hand-painted mural depicting a lush tropical scene that adds a fresh family touch to the interior ambience. Moving further aft, the Sky Lounge is separated from another TV viewing area, in this case set up as a game station, by these two bookshelves. And on the open aft deck we have an informal dining area that can seat a full complement of guests. The bridge deck is also the sun deck, with a king-size jacuzzi, sun lounges and another bar on the open aft deck. Up here we also have the captain's cabin and an officer's cabin within easy reach of here in the wheelhouse. RIO is powered by twin Caterpillar engines of 1,230 kilowatts each at 1,800 RPM for a top speed of 15 knots. And with a fuel capacity of 140,000 litres, she has a range at cruising speed of 4,500 nautical miles, so more than enough to take her across the Atlantic and then some. But there's one last place on board that I want to show you. With a steam room and chromotherapy shower, the beach club is the place to hang out at water level when at anchor. But the amenities can still be used when underway because there's an interior staircase leading from the main salon, and the overhead skylights mean there's still plenty of natural light even when the transom hatch is closed. What I haven't told you, and what you'd never have realized otherwise, is that RIO's ownership changed when the interior was almost complete. The original style wasn't to the current owner's tastes, but instead of ripping everything out and starting again, which made no sense at all, the shipyard was able to seamlessly transform the decor and finishes to suit a more family-oriented lifestyle. And the owners were happy because they got exactly the yacht they wanted in a fraction of the time it would have taken to build new.